All right. Well, everybody, welcome. We are with Dr. Reece, who is a plastic surgeon, interim CEO, and chairman of the board for Iowa Clinic. So we're so happy to be here today. What's the day? It's May 11th. We always forget our days, right? Is it Sunday? Is it Monday? I think it's a Monday. So a little bit about Iowa Clinic. Iowa Clinic was launched in 1994. And they are the largest physician-owned multi-special group in the community. They have more than 250 physicians and healthcare providers, and they practice in 40 plus specialties. That's amazing. Located in West Des Moines, yay! Iowa Clinic has 170 square foot site and a state-of-the-art medical facility. So welcome to our CEO Insights series, Dr. Reece. How are you today?
Well, thank you so much for having me on as a guest, and I hope everybody's doing well. We would wish any of the moms out there a belated Happy Mother's Day, and hope everybody continues to stay healthy and does okay with these interesting times.
Boy, so interesting, I tell you. Well, tell us, catch us up on Iowa Clinic and tell us how you guys are doing right now here in the middle of COVID-19.
Oh, sure. Well, as you can imagine, being a healthcare organization, we're front and center with a lot of people's needs, and indeed participate in actively fighting the virus. And so there's all of that and more. As a clinic, sure, we are not immune to the business aspects that everybody else has kind of suffered with. We do have a reduction of people coming in. Everybody's afraid. Everybody's been kind of directed to shelter in place, all those sorts of things. And so we're with you. We're part of it. It's neat from the standpoint that we really do have a lot of dedicated healthcare providers and all of our employees. During this time, specifically, we've actually created a COVID response team. At the risk of using the cliche that everybody has kind of utilized in terms of everything's fluid, it is in fact that, because there are so many things that change almost on a daily basis, that we've found that the response team is way more able to adapt and create protocols, workflows, and help all of our patients and keep everybody safe. So we will regularly evaluate new medical information, and always our goal is to respond with the safest and best practices, not only for the patients, but also our employees. And so, we work through all that. We've been, for the community, having a drive-through testing site for eligible patients. We have actively kind of done triage in the form of doing that through call centers, and also with our line access. That's been, I think, very effective. And it's sort of one of those things where now that the governor's lifting some of the restrictions, some of the things that were prohibited before, such as elective procedures, we are carefully ramping those up. We're going to test everybody, make sure that the environment is as safe as we possibly can make it. And so, we very much so. But I think that as we couch all this in the aspect of having the kind of COVID-19 virus over our heads, we still realize that there are an awful lot of people out there with other types of medical needs, and we don't want to neglect those. We're open. We want to help with those things. It's can be, I think, just, in fact, even dangerous for people to ignore those just because of the COVID issues. You really do need to continue to address your own personal health, as well as be mindful of this new medical challenge in the terms of the coronavirus. But that's kind of what we're doing.
Well, you guys are doing a lot then. If you have your testing site there, your call center, your task force, you guys are all hands on deck, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful team effort, and I can't thank our employees and healthcare providers enough for all that they do for us.
So how do you, it might be hard to do this because we're, like you said, every day is a new day and a lot of challenges, but how do you see healthcare maybe shifting in the future, perhaps due to COVID-19, or do you see any shifting?
It's been rather unique, but something amazing has happened with the outbreak of this virus. We have begun utilizing what I would term telehealth. It's been kind of a newer type of administering of healthcare, where you're doing it over, video, kind of almost like FaceTime type of thing. And yet it's very, very carefully made strictly confidential. We adhere to all the HIPAA guidelines, all the legal requirements, that keeping things very personal between the care provider and the patient. But telehealth has just absolutely rocketed in terms of utilization. And it's really, really neat, because there are a lot of people that go, well, if I could only at least talk to the doctor, and maybe they see him. I mean, it's not like you can actually put a stethoscope on the patient, but at the same time, there are many things that I think can be provided very, very effectively through sort of the telehealthing. And so it has been a way to not have to have people come in and yet receive good healthcare advice. And so I think that that's been a terrific thing. We've ramped our capabilities up. We do multiple specialties, not only to primary care, and it's been very, very effective. And I would tell you that this telehealth type of format, it's not going to go away. I think people will embrace it. It's been more popular on the East and West Coast, but it's been overdue. Now we're ramped up just by virtue of the virus. But I think it's here to stay, and will be an effective way to administer health to all the patients in the future.
Yeah, and I feel like you could probably see more patients this way. I mean, this would be, yeah, a very efficient way to see patients. Yeah.
It really is. Yeah, it really is a kind of neat thing, and people like it. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
It's efficient use of their time.
So, I know COVID-19 has been terrible for all of us. It's been really hard on the economy, obviously. It's been hard on our people's lives. It's been traumatic. But if there were positive things that have come from this, sometimes it's nice to see the bright side too. Has there been anything that you would say that you found that maybe has surprised you that's been kind of positive during this?
I'd have to say this: what we get at the clinic here from everybody is just a wonderful sense of community, that kind of reaching out, I, much more so in the past. I mean, it's this spirit of being there and helping others.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I mean, that's just really huge. I mean, it's super tough for people right now, but at the same time, everybody realizes we're in it together, and it's like sort of like, what can we do? There have been people that have been making the masks at home. They've dropped them off at the clinic. We are so very appreciative of those kinds of things. But there's not a day that goes by that you don't hear another neat story. You never used to hear that, and now you do. And I think that that's really a bright light for humanity in general, is that we're seeing this, and it's moving forward. So to me, that's a wow. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's so true. It's those how people are really pulling together, helping each other. It's really become a significant time to get super close with the community and friends and family and others. Yeah, and people reaching out has been incredible. So you're leading an organization that's on the front lines. What advice would you give to leaders right now during this time? It has got to be a very challenging time for you as a leader.
Well, Sure. I think we all are struggling with kind of it's uncharted territory. Nobody's ever had, I mean, the last pandemic was 1918, so none of us have ever experienced this before. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, all right, well, what to do? And I think that I'll, for a second, just put my doctor's hat on and say that really do heed your physicians and caregivers' advice. There are nuances with this virus that are very, very significant. And I think that there's a lot of kind of fake news out there and some misinformation, but go to somebody that you can trust and listen to that. I mean, there are all kinds of different ways to access that, up to and including the telehealth discussion that we had. But I think that there's that. But as far as from a leadership standpoint, I'm by no means an expert, but I think one of the things that I would just pass along, because it's helped me a lot, and that is that I think that leaders should always exhibit a lot of gratitude, because first of all, it's a limitless supply. And secondly, with everybody being stressed out, having these difficult times, I mean, everybody needs to know that we are very grateful for what they do, and that together, we'll get through this. There will be a new normal. We will probably be better than ever, but I think that we just sort of have to nurture and help people as we go along. So that would be my advice.
I love that. I love that. So what's the one thing, or there might be many things, but what's the top thing you're really excited about doing once this is, quote, all over, or we're able to get out and about a little bit more?
Yeah, well, that one's an easy one for me. My dad, who just turned 100, and
Wow.
he was actually in the Des Moines Register not too long ago, but he's in a care facility, and right now they're locked down. I get it. That's the safe thing to do, and I applaud that. But boy, will I ever be happy to go see him. So, yeah.
That's amazing. What a great story. That's so amazing. Well, thank you for all that you do for caring for the community, and again, being on the front lines and taking your time today. It's so valuable. We really, really highly appreciate this. And thanks for all that you're doing. Yeah, really very much.
Well, thank you. And stay safe, everybody out there, and happy hand washing. So,
happy hand washing. I like that. Thank you, Dr. Reece, for your words of wisdom this morning.
Thank you.
Take care.